Hello, it's another beautiful day. Thought I'd get outside and make a little video, talk to you about control and influence over our lives. And something that I believe is a truth that I've discovered in my life, and I've met others who have discovered this truth, is that there are certain paradoxes in life, seeming paradoxes, that when you can master certain levels of experience open up to you. And one is control over your life. And I see a lot of people on both ends of the extreme. They look at a strictly physical perspective and have this very tough, disciplined attitude, and they can just force down their will and shut up that voice in their head that says, I don't want to do this, and just do whatever needs to be done. And they do, and they do, and they do, and they work, and they work, and they work. And most of these people, eventually, a lot of them, start to have something to show for their work. I mean, you can't do that and have nothing to show for it. But then there's also a lot of people who are working very hard on the physical level, but not really getting there. Not really getting what seems like an appropriate response to the amount of work they're putting into it, you know. On the other side of the extreme, you have sort of like the people who got into that documentary, The Secret, and they just think that they can just think their way to abundance and think their way to getting whatever they want in their life. And all they have to do is imagine it, visualization exercise, prayer, whatever. And some of those people have success, but most of them are sitting around not taking action and waiting for something to come to them. And the people I see who really, really are successful are the people who figure out that middle path, who figure out how to have that discipline, how to take action and get things done, and to do so in alignment with visualization and with their deepest beliefs, with their deepest desires, with their prayers, with the higher intention of Source or God's plan or whatever you want to call it. Right? If you can live in alignment with your higher purpose, visualize what you want, learn to pray for it in a way that is accurate to the cosmology of the universe, and then align all that with action and discipline and a good plan for how to get things physically accomplished, that is where you unlock the most influence in your life, and you seem to unlock the greatest levels of joy. And this is not something I've achieved. It's still something I'm working on. And I've noticed that this is the relationship between the ego and the self. The self is humble. The self is humble. The self does not get too caught up on expectations. It just focuses on intentions. Whereas the ego has expectations and demands, and it wants to be in charge. And as long as you're trying to walk this path from a perspective of demanding outcomes and trying to be in charge, then you actually cut off your personal power. You cut off your highest power, because your highest power is actually coming from Source. It's coming from God. It's not coming from your action. Right? Your action is necessary to create the things in your life that you want to create the things in the world that you came here to create. But if you are cut off from Source, then you can't create those things, or your process of creation is very much hindered. And the way you open yourself up to Source and the infinite power of creation, all creation ultimately comes from Source. That's why it's called Source. And so your power of creation is simply a small fractal of that infinite power of creation that created all things. And if you cut yourself off from that, then you're limiting your ability to create. So humility and having the right mind, the right heart, and the right body are all necessary, right? So having your mind in a state of intention rather than expectation. Having your heart in a state of openness and gratitude and humility rather than resentment or being closed off. And having your body in the right line of action, taking action learning from your actions, the mistakes and the successes, rather than just being sloth-like and not doing anything and waiting for Source or God to step in and make it happen for you. Most people in that world, I think that they're waiting for the universe while the universe is waiting for them. And most people in that extreme of physical action, they don't even realize that the whole universe is supporting them. All right? So realize that the universe is supporting you, and realize that right now its means of supporting you might be waiting on you to do something. What is it the universe is waiting on you to do? Go out and try some things and see if you can figure it out. All right? Much love.